Part 3, I think it was part 3. We took the lever out, took the hammer out, took the trigger off. That block does nothing, it just holds the guide. It's a guide for your trigger, for the wire. You can take it off, there's nothing underneath there. There's a little pin and a hole, and like I say, if you remember rightly, I said earlier, there's 2 longer screws than the rest, that's them. You can whip it off, it doesn't do, there's nothing underneath it. There is a hole and a pin, so you can locate it, so you know which way it goes up. Throw that over there. Next thing is, you need to make sure you have absolutely no pressure in your thing, because if you undo this, not that, fucking hell, if you undo that, it'll blow it across the room. I've got no pressure in it, so that should... Now we're on uncharted territory here, because this didn't come off last time. So let's have a look. Now I know there's no pressure in this, because it went bang before and frightened me. So much so I had to go and get clean underpants. So, right, what you've got in there is your regulator. Which, today I'm not going to strip apart because I can't be arsed. It's Sunday. I just got back off my holidays and I don't want to do much. We'll have a look at that again. Valve stem. That should unscrew. Like I say, if you undo that, this is the problem. If you've got a leak, it's in there. As I found out, you can just make out that pink O-ring in there. If you undo that, it goes bang, blows everything outside and dumps all the air and dumps the contents of your bowels into your underpants. So that should unscrew, leaving you a spring with some very nasty edges. Again, they'll get polished, cleaned up. And you've got, alright, see if that focuses. Can you see that piece of white shit there on the side? That's the nylon off that, or Delrin, whichever one it is. And that sharp edge, just cut that off that valve. If that goes into there, that'll give you a leak. That'll give you problems. That should pop out. Should be nice and clean. Because that's the sealing face. That seals you. Your hammer hits that, as you know, pops it open, lets the air through. Your spring returns it. But, like I say, that piece of crappy nylon in there can interfere in that seat. And give you problems. Valve stem seat. Now again, I haven't took this out, but looking at it, that pin comes out. I poked it before. That pin should push out like that. Now that will be a different size to everything else, so keep it to one side. And there should be a locking grub screw. If this was a HW100, there would be a bulb there underneath that, but it's not, so that's only for setting the reg on the 100. Because on the 100 you've got your Belleville washers in there for the regulator. So that should just be a locking thing, I should imagine, for that. Pins out, bolts out, there's nothing else obvious there holding it in. As long as it's not screw threaded in, but there's no slot to unscrew it or an Allen key pressed into the brass. There's nothing on the back side, so that tells me if I get a big... It should fall out. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's where your pin locates it. That flat, horrible flat you can see there, you might not be able to see. Yeah, just about. That's where that grub screw pins it in place. Should be a hole in the top, which when it goes back in, the hole in the top points upmost. Lets your air through in the circle, which is why they put a grub screw there, because they drill straight the way up, straight around. So it's a square basically. It's a very rough arsed way of getting air around. Nice curve would be better, but they can't do that. So you've got one permanent O-ring and one sealing O-ring. Do I want to fiddle with it? I've never had this out, so I don't know. It's not bad. Feels alright. I'll give it a clean. I'll give that a clean. I'll clean out inside of there. Carb and brake cleaner from Halfords or any other motor oil checkpoint, wherever you go. That's good shit, really good shit, cleaning stuff off. I'll give that a polish, because it's got to be smooth. And basically you'll find that when you get a gun from new, they don't clean all the crap off from when they processed it, i.e. the barrel. When I did the barrel, they've just twatted. That took 16 cleans with the cloth. And then halfway through I had to put actual degreaser in it. Easy tip for you for cleaning. If the barrel's off, if it's not, it doesn't matter. I get something slightly longer than the barrel, £30 line. Find the middle. Find the middle. Tie your shoelace knot to give you a loop. And that loop, I put the cloth in. So bang in the centre of that is a loop. So I can pass that down the barrel, out the other side, get the cloth in that loop, and all I do is just back and two and back and two, like that. If you've got a silencer on the end, you can get drinking straw, put the drinking straw in, and then that fishing line won't flap around inside your silencer and never come out. It'll go up your drinking straw or pass it back through the other way down your drinking straw. If you can take the mod off, it's easier. If you can take the barrel off, it's a piece of piss, but the amount of shit that was in this barrel was unbelievable. I did post photos on the group, on the Artemis group. So that's it for that one. So on this one I would polish that, give that a clean up. If I can polish inside there somehow, I will do. Clean the crap off it, because that's horrible, whatever that is. And I'll get some decent Molykote O-ring grease on them. Put it all back together. The spring, I'll polish one end. I'll polish both ends actually. Now that came out, you'll notice it is not a parallel spring, it is a tapered spring. It came out with the taper pointing towards the cylinder. And again, that O-ring looks horrible shit quality, but it does the job. So I could do with getting some sizes and find out what they are. If I can find out the sizes, I'll post them in comments on the video and replace them with better O-rings than them. Polyurethane ones are better, 90 sure. But I'll play with that. That's that.